Dale, dale.
Boom.
Now
Yo, what's up, people?
what's
Hey,
going
what's up,
on,
Instagram?
everybody?
How's everybody doing?
What up,
Are we
fam?
rolling up here?
Are all our plumber fans, everybody? Everybody's here?
rolling.
Sweet.
Quick shout out to the host.
Yes. Ronin Studios and OTB Miami, guys. For everything you see that we post, especially at Fire Sprinkler Guy, we got to give a shout out to my boy Eddie from OTB Miami. And we're here at the Ronin Studios. Guys, shout out anything you guys want to do from Miami. You're in South Florida. You want to record. You got a podcast, whatever it is. There's so many rooms here. We don't even know what to do. So thanks to Ronin Studios for letting us crash the party for a little bit, you know. Ronin Creative. My bad on that, but we'll get it right one step at a time, right?
Ronin
Bear with
Creative,
us.
shout out.
We're gonna go ahead and probably put a link on our Instagram, so you'll be able to reach out to everybody, help you make the magic come true.
All right, well, Chad's got the comments. I can't see the
All right.
comments. Welcome to the show. Here we go. If you got questions, send
Somebody
them
says
off.
the audio has crazy echo. So maybe it's my glasses.
Oh, yeah, it is. You got to shut all audio off. Turn that down. Yeah. Oh, you were trying to listen.
I was trying to listen.
You
What are you
can't do
listening
that.
at?
I was trying
It's
to take
gonna be my
videos
voice.
while I
It's
was
gonna be
doing it,
my
that's what I'm
voice.
You
saying,
can't
but-
do that.
Thank you for the feedback. If you have any more feedback, send it.
Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate
and
you guys
gals.
being here. We got a little work going on in the background. We're letting people filter in.
So we
Looks like we
decided to do this little Q&A, pop-up Q&A, if you would, because we've had a bunch of questions on why I got these two knuckleheads down here in South Florida hanging pipe screwing it tight. But it is what it is. It's a nice little surprise. We're stirring up the porta potty is what I like to call it, you know?
Oh, it's stirred.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 accounts need to mute.
I just muted, so hopefully that helps out a little bit.
So with the Q&A, I guess let's do a little intro. Who we have.
I'm muted too.
My name is Chad. You guys probably know me as Red Collar Retro on Instagram. That's me here. I grew up in Washington State. I've been in fire protection for a little over 8 years now, and I'm down in South Florida now with Mr. Carlos and the Fire Sprinkler guys.
Yo, what up? It's Bobby. Down here from Boston. Coming. I'm not gonna let Chad and Carlos have all the fun down here. The fire sprinkler guys. So I'm just down here on vacation with the boys, hanging and banging. Now we're at this amazing studio, and we're gonna try to make some content. If there's any good questions you guys got, we'd love to answer them. We have some questions that we've come up with ourselves for ourselves, and that's it.
And-
Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your friendly neighborhood fire sprinkler guy. So, like I said, and Bobby said, we're out here in this live Q&A. Could be fire sprinkler related, could be whatever you want to know, find out about all of us. It's all good in the hood. Just ask away, and let's make this happen. Let's stir up and get the people rowdy out there. Get
Yeah,
the
so
people
we
going.
got one question coming in already. It says, what do you guys think of the Australian fitters?
Hemp and soap.
Hemp and soap,
Hemp
baby.
and soap.
They
It's
wear-
new. I mean, I've never seen that, but it works, man, and more power to it. I like seeing it from the land down under and across the world how they do it. You know.
That's it, man. We're all screw black pipe. It's just our brothers and sisters over the pond.
They get away with the shorts too.
Yeah. Well,
Shorts
yeah.
on
All their
site is wild,
the
huh?
shorts and boots. Shout out to my boy Levi over in
Yeah.
Australia. We like Levi.
It gets a little hot out here too, you know. We're trying to bring that style, and I appreciate that our friends out there letting us know it's all right to hang pipe in shorts.
We got a question here that says, what courses do you guys recommend for NICET prep?
Well, you guys want to take off, or
Sure,
question.
I can come from firsthand experience that Fire Tech offered a good course. They'll let you take the test up to 5 times before the exam. It's all at your own pace. I'm pretty sure it's like the previous year's exam. So you're getting like for like almost, maybe a few different questions, but
Okay.
It's a great course. You know, I've seen them in person. We've all seen them at some of the expos that we've been to. And I
Love the
think
team over at Fire Tech.
Fire
Yeah.
Tech's good.
They're good, they're
Fire
good.
Tech's what I would recommend.
I mean, there's a couple of different routes to go. I mean, that's a good option. That's why we're here, is to let you know there's various options. You got the first thing I would do if you're working for a company, find out what kind of apprenticeship program or what they're involved in that can have that. Ask the questions. If nobody's asked you, well, you go ask. It's your job. It's your life, you know?
For real.
There's Fire Tech. There's some of the big companies have these hands-on training facilities, or they're building them, or so on and so forth. There's AFSA, there's NFSA, there's just a bunch of different organizations. Online courses have gotten better. I will say that. You know, Fire Tech has a really good team. They have what I like about them. They have a little customizable program. I have one. I haven't taken advantage as much as I should, but I like it, especially for the office staff. Being in the industry, getting somebody trained up to speed. Fire Tech has a really good program for that. But most importantly is find out what your organization is working with. Because probably make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, we're fire protection industry is kind of cool that way. If you have a question in something, we're really good at sharing information with each other. So ask around if you want to learn something.
I'm like peeking over at Chad's phone to see the comments because for whatever reason they're not popping up on mine. I feel like I'm cheating on my test over here.
Yeah.
It's all right. Wouldn't be the first time.
We can also help you guys out with questions.
Oh, okay. If you see any good ones.
Somebody asked, let's say Lido Fire here says, do you guys know a great fire pump inspection and repair course I can take? I want to learn more about that.
I have to go back to Fire Tech.
Yeah, we gotta
Well,
go
there's
back
Fire Tech, and then one of the things too is that you can reach out to the actual manufacturers. They got Clark, and a lot of these companies offer programs. They're pretty expensive, like everything. But what's the cost of your future? What's the cost of you learning something? You know what I mean? They're out there. And then who other AFSA and NFSA, they have their own hands-on training too. I encourage everybody to look to their website, scroll down. It's free, to look around and get that information out there.
For sure. Will's Lacrosse over at SPP. I've
Yeah,
seen firsthand.
SPP.
Seen
The legend?
firsthand, the legend Will's Lacrosse. Shout out to Will's Lacrosse. Knowledgeable guy. So, yeah.
And every
This
chance
is
you
cool.
get, you're at the job site too. What's the best learning experience? When you're at the job site. So if you have an experience to sneak in there into the pump room, start bugging those people, get in there, become annoying, get in their face.
That's it.
That's
how you got to get into some of these things.
Yeah, that's it. Get in it. Do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
How'd you get into those committee meetings?
Just opening my own doors. Hey,
That's it.
I as a contractor, you don't really get invited to these things, so you pretty much got to pay your way and do it. And I wasn't invited, but I knew they existed, so I went ahead and knocked on the door. Why
The
not?
door's open for anybody.
Yeah.
You just got to make it to that to make
do
it to the
and
spot.
That's the way. That's what drove me. So that's what I helped to encourage the people around.
That's cool. Great questions. Thank you guys for joining us. Looks like there's almost
Let's see. We got
20 people in here.
We got all right. We've got somebody that's also gone to a workshop at Victaulic headquarters in May. It was their first time. Have we ever been? And if so, what do you recommend? Same thing with training. So
Training. I know. I mean, Vikings got free training
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Michigan, and they got a
Just
man,
gotta
they
get
got
out there.
State-of-the-art facility with all kinds of stuff to look at and touch and feel, and you can play with any valve that they make, dry valve, whatever they got is there, and it's just making it there.
right.
Book the flight, book
Yeah.
the hotel,
Yeah.
schedule the
And
class.
I hear a lot of guys wait for their company to pay for it, and I understand that a little bit, but I feel like it's not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think the NICET exam is around $260, and you see some of these people paying that on a weekend at, at a restaurant or doing something. It's for 5 years of your career, so. I feel like don't wait for your company to do that. That's something you can do on your own. And it's
Especially
your
with
career.
people, you're expecting somebody to give you your value, and the information is out there. And
Go take it.
Yeah, and where we live out today, technology, you can go out there and get it yourself because you're gonna spend $200, $300, even $2,000 on something you like, right? You say, "Oh, I'm gonna sign up for the gym because I gotta get all pumped up." You get all these protein shakes. You got a personal trainer, and I got shoes that are gonna make me run fast and jump higher. And then you still spend money on that, but you won't spend money on your career. You can't. That's on you.
We got what's better, service or new construction?
Oof. Well, that's.
What are you into?
It's
what are you into?
Well, I'll be honest. Yeah, if I can
talk about
kind
it.
of chime in a little bit as a contractor, a little bit. So, my thing is, as a fitter, I've always liked fire sprinklers, like whatever it is, whether it be new install or solving problems. What I think makes it difficult in new construction is, no offense, but the general contractors. I think the communication, that's what makes it a little difficult because everybody wants the fastest and cheapest job done. And that's not always the way it works, especially with life safety, I think that's what makes it difficult. Mm-hmm. It's really, and one of the topics that we were actually talking about, it's the people. It's really in construction, the people, the communication that makes it difficult. On service, I see it a little bit easier for me because of the brand that I'm trying to build. I want to build that relationship with the guys. I want to try to build them up as better technicians. And I personally find that service allows me to do that easier and faster with the guys on an everyday basis. You get those questions, you get that dialogue, you know, that they don't understand something, you got to practice what you know and explain it to them. So that's why I like service better. Personally, as a business owner, but I love fire sprinklers in general. So new construction, it's always good to install some new stuff.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it.
Are you guys? Can you guys hear us? Okay.
Is everybody hearing us okay? I've done both sides of it. I've done both sides of it. I prefer service, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, guys get buried into a new construction. They don't have to really deal with people so much. It's a lot of hanging and banging and yelling and screaming, and you know how it works.
Yep.
But in service, I enjoy working with people and figuring out problems that maybe the building owner doesn't know, and getting into places that haven't been seen in a long time. You know.
What about the
part of
software? Usually, but all of them, some of them could be a little funky.
Yeah, some of them can be funky. You have challenges. You know, there's certain software that you can't do an inspection without certain softwares, and you have to be able to adapt on the fly. You're working off your phone, your iPad in the field, you know.
So it's different than like for me how we grew up in the industry, right? There was no app, no tablets,
All
no
paper.
nothing, all paper
Right,
and
and now-
memorizing what work you're gonna go to, write it down, and then try to figure out your handwriting afterwards.
Right.
You got to be a people person to be in that service inspections realm, right?
There's water and power to the building once there's service boys. You know, it's not just an empty job site where you can just go out there and play in the mud. You know, you're in a finished product.
You got to be friendly. So when we went in today, right? We couldn't find the manager. Nobody wanted
Nobody wanted to work.
Nobody
with us.
wanted to help find the manager. You got to keep it calm, cool, collected.
You got to have a little confidence to yourself and act like you've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen inspectors get a little gun shy and they want to just walk away. A maintenance man or a building owner might scare them off. You know, but
You're in a bad mood.
yeah, they're in a bad mood. And they want to deal with you.
They forget it too. I think us as technicians, we go to a job and everything is fire sprinkler related. Everything is all that related. From the supplier to people scheduling, your helper, everything. And then from the moment you get over there, then you run into somebody that doesn't know anything, and you want to get mad because they don't know.
For sure.
You
Is
know,
y'all hiring? Asking for a friend.
it depends, man.
You move your hands a little bit. I can read them too.
Yeah, for the right candidate, I guess.
You know.
End it up a little bit. So I could run the audio from mine. That's what I was asking. I think we're pulling audio from your phone.
So I can't get that to go all the way to zero.
I can't
I
either.
can.
Mine's the same situation here. So I'm getting a little bit of echo here, but I'm not getting any complaints in the comments or anything.
No, but I mean the microphone. As far as the followers listening to us, we're pulling from his mic. We could pull from my mic, but I don't know if it's gonna get chatterback. He's saying.
I don't know how to turn this mic all the way down.
So it's the middle button out of the three that you see.
No, well,
middle.
because we're live. Look at I'll turn it all the way down. It will pop back up. See it over in the corner.
gotcha.
It wants you to have a little bit
Got it.
for whatever reasons.
I'm not gonna sing today though.
No.
No.
Well, they might want. You want him to sing?
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
but-
we got, so he says, I love this trade, no matter service or construction. If you do both, it makes you more well-rounded. And
Boom.
that's-
That's a good one. That's
I
true.
think for the service and inspection guys, if you have a good background and they install and understand the code on how it's supposed to go in the proper way, it's much easier for you to inspect and maintain it.
Right.
And it's also if you want to just show up and be a neck down as they call it, it's real easy to just show up and hang lines, man. You just hanging
Yeah.
lines. It's
Good
not
at reading prints.
not
you
really
know,
much to it.
understanding.
You don't got to deal with people. Maybe a foreman, maybe a helper, and you just grab your hangers,
Yeah.
grab your couplings, grab your impact, maybe put on some podcasts.
Routine,
and
yeah.
Boom, you just take off.
When I think it used to be, I'm not like, and now that I think that as an inspector, it's kind of considered the less physical labor, and people dive right into inspections. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's important to know how to work on sprinkler pipe before you're going to write up sprinkler pipe.
Well, it's physical, but guess what? If you don't use your mind, you're gonna kill your physical part of it. So it's
Right.
all mental, you know. Even how you're gonna use your physical ability to, you know, train or to hang pipe, you know, lay the pipe down underground. All that stuff is, you gotta train your mind, your body, you know, for what you're doing. And that's why I think going back to it, like, you know, everybody says, well, you gotta, these professional trainers or athletes or lawyers or doctors, well, if I had that career, then you get that level of commitment. Well, guess what, Bubba? If you're hanging pipe and you're at a construction site right now, chances are that's not it. So why don't you take the advantage of what you got and build yourself up? Work out. Yeah,
true.
either work out, gain your knowledge, do something to make that happen, you know?
Yeah.
I dove in, and Chad is so right.
Well, yeah. I mean, so she knows it's writing up a deficiency on your reports. If you're not familiar with how the sprinkler pipe is installed, then the way that you write it up on an inspection report is not necessarily going to be on
There's
point.
that gray area.
There's a gray area there, and then the service guy or the guy that's coming to repair it is going to look at this report and go, "Oh, I needed a hanger. Oh, I needed a bandsaw. I needed all these things." And if you're writing it up and not familiar with how to install pipe, you're going to write it up wrong, or you're going to leave a lot of pieces of information out.
No, you're right. You're right. What about another thing? You doing inspections? How about getting to a place where you cannot perform that type of inspection?
Right.
Like nobody's even asked that. People just, here in South Florida, some of the buildings don't have test headers for the fire pumps. They got up on the roof manifolds.
Yep.
So a lot of people forget to even just ask a question, or send an email. Hey, how are your roof drains? Because we're getting ready to dump about
getting ready to flood
1,200,
that
1,500
shit, yeah.
gallons of water up there, and then cause a shitstorm.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully your roof doesn't leak.
Yeah. Okay, let's
And out of curiosity, Chad, like after, I know a lot of the followers already know you from different things you guys done from the past. Like, how was it? What's maintained from all the exciting things you've done, we've all done? What made you stay still within fire sprinklers? Because you've had some good experiences, bad experiences, all kinds, all around.
Yeah, I think it's for me personally, Bobby and yourself. Some of these guys are on their second, third generation. They kind of got into it in a family thing, and for me, it was at a point in my life where I got myself together. And when that happened, fire protection
Saved your life.
saved my life
Boom.
essentially. And it's if you have an idea, if you want to be in sales, if you want to do anything, you name it, fire protection has a door for you. There's.
How'd that go, Bobby? What's up? You can talk to us a little bit about between the transition or being field and having those two things. There's a big
Man, I've
difference.
seen a lot of things within the industry in the past, 18, 19 years. Like Chad said, third generation, mostly install. I did install for 16, 17 years now, and I went everywhere from non-union, working under my father, to non-union, working with people I don't know, to the union, to operations manager, to manufacturing. And I think at the end of the day, man, I had the most fun in the field, hanging the pipe. Well, you got something to look back at the end of the day. You sit in the office all day, you might accomplish you could accomplish 100 things, you could accomplish 50 things, but at the end of the day, it's just like the office still looks the same.
Well, can you really solve 50 things if you don't know the
Maybe
field?
not. I'm trying to juice up any
but I'm
office
saying,
people
like,
watching.
But it's important that even if you're out on the field, or you're in the office, to really understand the field. That's where a lot of the miscommunications I see happen in different.
I think I've seen on both sides of new construction and service that the biggest gap that we see in our industry is sometimes these people making decisions for the guys in the field have never been in the field.
Boom.
So that and you always get the disgruntled wrench monkey out in the field. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, kind of thing. And it is true. Like the way that our industry works is someone goes to school and they get qualified to be in that managerial position. And really, it takes somebody that comes from the field to understand how to make some of those decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we see the biggest gap in our trade, for sure.
I think also one of the things I see people a lot in a rush. Everybody wants to rush and think that they're gonna download all that information quick, and they're like quick to, oh no, I already know the field. I'm gonna go back into the office and do a project manager. You can't even manage yourself properly.
Right.
You're gonna manage a project, and it could be not just disgruntled employees. How about costly mistakes?
For sure. And we're dealing with life safety.
Yeah.
How long you been doing sprinklers?
Well, see, my oldest daughter is 24, so about 24, 25 years.
Are you still learning today?
Every day. Every day I still
I
learning.
was
Like,
20 years in. You're not
I'm
never
just
gonna
learning
know
now.
everything.
I'm learning now how to better express myself with the stuff that I know, how to get that information out to the guys, how to get the information out in writing. How about that on emails, not to sound like a complete idiot, It's a big transition. It's not very easy, But one of the things that I made sure is that I always knew I wasn't in a hurry. Like, since I like what I'm doing, I know that I'm in this for the long haul. So to me, it's been kind of easy because I've been just coasting. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've had the experience to work union. That's where I first started in my industry. I booked out, but then in 2008, everything fell to crap. So, you know, I still liked what I did. So I had to find, you know, different ways to do it, you know. And yeah, I went from getting high, you know, good money to doing it for whatever I can because I like the industry. So, and one of the things is motivation. I think everybody does relate to, nobody just knows how to tap into it is, you know, I have my wife and kids. I had a kid at a young age. So I needed to make sure that this like I was gonna learn this to the fullest as much as possible. So after 2008, I didn't want to leave my family's future in the hands of somebody else. Right. You know, so I figured that the best way to do it was to go get my contractor's license. You know, and then if I constantly have to be on an interview, because that's one thing we don't really we don't.
They're
realize.
having trouble hearing. Just hit the little microphone on like at the bottom of the screen. Should just be a picture of a mic.
You want me to go do it?
So on the top left corner of the video, you should see a little microphone. I think you can. Yeah,
You good?
There
Boom.
we go.
All right, now it should pull audio from my phone. I just got a text, so.
So
Thank you, Dan.
I get that motivation, you know. So it wasn't left up to me, you know. I guess everybody gets something in their life. For me, it was that calling me a hit that I was like, now what? Now I went to school for 5 years, and I learned this. I got a taste of what it was to get a good job. Now what? You know. So if it's left up to me, then I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it right, and that's kind of like how I got started, you know, and continue constantly learn, put myself in positions. So I'm comfortable being in uncomfortable situations. That's what kind of, I guess, makes me dangerous to some people. Is I'm okay with doing that, whether it was reading, whether it's accounting, whether it's business, whether it's marketing. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
You know, the same way I hang pipe, the same way I am on the field. Like that's it. I wasn't scared of it. I mean, that's what I think happens to a lot of people. They want to put the blames on things, and really, you stand in your own way. You're your biggest monster, and I'm not even afraid of that.
Yeah, for sure.
How's that audio now, Dan?
Bingo bango.
Appreciate you guys giving us feedback. You know, we're just winging it out here. We literally we got 10 cameras right, and 10 lenses looking at us right now or something. What you got? I think that there's a lot of pride to piggyback off that. I think there's a lot of pride. Anybody who's good or great in this industry, they got a lot of pride in the industry. And the guys who are just floating, it's a job.
I want to show it. I want to show that I'm
them.
proud of what I'm doing. One of the things, like what Chad said, man, like for me, fire sprinklers saved my life, and I was never even involved in a fire.
Right.
You know, even when it comes to, as corny as I may sound, as even marital stuff, like in a way, it has put me in a challenge that even though I started at a young age, it's consistently kept my partner, you know, on her toes. Like, man, this guy's doing something else. Man, he's doing something else. And where else? And like, I'm not just gonna be like that. Like, you know. Like 50 Cent says, man, what happened? In high school, you were the man, homie, you know, so, you know. So it's got to be the same way, man. You know, you got to keep her on her toes and keep her.
When are you gonna be home, babe? Well,
that's the exciting part, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? When they want you to go home as opposed to when they don't want you home.
Right.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
Audio's better now. Thank you for the feedback.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
it.
Fire off some questions. What do you got?
Wait,
some hard
one
ones.
quick question. One quick shout out there. Guys, hit us up on the DM. We got stickers, all of us. We got Red Retro stickers. We got Blue Collar Bobby stickers. We got Fire Sprinkler Guy stickers, Dope and Tape Soul stickers, anything. Just hit us up. You know, we're making this, it's a lifestyle movement.
Right.
DM us wherever you contact any of us. DM us a mailing address, and we'll pick 10 people.
Yeah,
Let's pick 10 people.
Send you guys like a sticker pack.
You never know. You might even get a hoodie or something.
Maybe we'll get Carlos throw a hoodie or something.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Do you guys got any questions while these guys pop off or what? You guys want to ask that?
Yeah, I want to ask Carlos. I mean, I'm working with you now, Carlos.
Yep.
You know, there's a.
I like the way you say that. You're working with me. That's better.
Working with you. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of the guys in the industry, they may work for a big corporate company, or they may work for a company that not even allow them to post on social media.
Yeah.
You know, some of these guys are a little gun shy about running their content in the field, you know, and is my boss checking my story, or am I friends with my boss on social media? Like,
I got an
how
opinion on
do you feel as a business owner and as a field guy, like when your guys are in the field and it's 1:00 and you see them posting in a RiserRoom?
Hell yeah, that's what I like. Because reality is that I set out not to be just a contractor. Like, I have to pay my bills, so I hang pipe, and that's how I do it. That's what I want to do. But I'm set on making this a brand. And reality is that I like that you're showing pride in what you're doing. You're exposing yourself. And I know that a lot of people are afraid, oh, I'm not going to show this, I'm not going to show that. But reality is, man, that I encourage it. You know, you're bringing out your pride in yourself. In reality, that's why I named it Fire Sprinkler Guy, because it's not just a name. I don't want it to be my name. I don't want it to be a corporation name or a company name like that. It's about the individuals. So that's why it's a brand. We just happen to be good at what we do, and I'm gonna continue doing that. And I like showing that it's a pride thing. It started as a brand. What's gonna motivate me? And if it motivates me, then it motivates you, and it motivates you, then the brand is doing what it's gotta be doing.
Right.
And this is what this industry needs. We gotta, no offense, but I get it. And that's what financial wizards gotta do, company, you know, buying other companies. But we're the ones who drive the companies. We're the ones who are gonna grow into designers, engineers, project managers, CEOs. So, like I said, I'm in no competition with anybody. I'm by myself. So reality is that I encourage that because it helps out what we do. I mean, it's different, but I run this different. And I put my money where my mouth is. And so far, it's been working so far, man.
Yeah.
I mean, are you having fun?
I'm having a great time.
And Bobby's here on vacation, guys. On vacation doing fire sprinkler work.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean,
So you promote, you want them posting.
absolutely.
I can't see why a boss wouldn't want you posting. And if you're on your personal account and you're posting and
think
your
I
boss
probably
doesn't like
culture.
it, block them. Fuck it, that's what I would do. Block them.
I mean, it's culture too, I guess, as being a business owner, like, you know, if that's not what their plan is.
Right.
So, but that's not my plan. So I'm going to be doing this for a while. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to secure my environment in a way that's going to keep me doing it. And doing this has allowed me to be creative in ways that I didn't know. So if you get creative and you get creative and people get creative and we create something awesome and badass and it's doing what it's doing.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest with you guys, like we're posting about our work. You know, in today's world with all the mess and chaos that's going on, if you're posting about your job, kudos to you,
Yeah,
brother.
that means you like what you're
It
doing.
means you like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and we have young guys in the field that are asking us questions on a daily basis from a RiserRoom across the country.
And
You
they
know,
probably
that-
need the motivation because
sure.
even if they stay within that company, I think that, you know what, these companies, we're doing them a favor by keeping their guys motivated within their organization and letting them know to wake up and do the best that they can.
Right.
So fire sprinkler guys already in everybody's company and they don't even know.
Yeah.
They're popping off right there. Scroll up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've got, how were you able to get over the financial hump as a business owner? I own my own company and I'm on 2 years now. Was it loans, investors, or credit?
You know what? Everybody sacrifices a little different. That's a good question.
Great question.
Yeah,
You're gonna
great
have
question.
to like. So there is rules and the guidelines to business and all of that, which is great, which will help you out. But you gotta know yourself, know your business, and know how to create that. Because getting into loans, and I'll be honest with you, as a business owner, this is my second time go around. I had a business with a business partner before for about 11 years, and that can go crap very easily. It's hard. As a business owner, there's never a secure time. Until business gets better, and you got to see how your engine runs, tune it in, dial it in. Where are you wasting money? Where you're not gaining money? Where are the customers that are making you money or not? It's a gamble. Owning your own business, no matter what it is, it's a gamble. It's difficult, and I don't think that any particular person can tell somebody, look, this is how you should carry your finances. Well, maybe an accountant. But it's difficult. It's a ballsy game. It's a game that you better put your money where your mouth is in. And how good do you believe in yourself? You know, how much money are you willing to bet your house? Are you willing to sell your car? Do something. Like, you got to dig in deep and find out how it is. Because I didn't set out to be rich. I didn't start my own company to be able to really just think about making money like that. I started the company to secure the fact that I'm always going to be able to hang pipe one way or the other.
Right.
Like, I know that. It's difficult. I had business for 11 years, and Fire Sprinkler Guy's been open for 4.
Right.
You know, right now what you guys are seeing is me having fun. There's a lot of risk in it. There absolutely is. I've just learned how to create this company and how we structure around my life. There's a lot of overhead that some companies feel the need to spend on. I haven't on certain things. There's companies that may feel that I spend too much money on tools. It is what it is, but it kind of, to each their own in a way. You customize it the way you like it, the way you want it, the way it works for you.
Right.
You know, but I will say that I tell everybody, I think the first step is to mining your own business. And what I mean mining is mine your own business. Keep mining it. What do we need? How do I create? What does this system need to be better? Like, what am I gonna do to be better?
Right.
And I think that's the way I've done it.
Mind, not mind.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that one a
And
lot.
I think people think that when people start a business that they're gonna work less and they're just gonna make a bunch of money. But in my experience in life, the business owners are some of the most hardworking people. They're always stressed
After
out.
dinner,
a
you
little
went
bit.
back to work.
Yeah,
It is,
always,
and it happens.
They're always stressed out.
It happens like that. But you know what? It does that. But you know, I go back to, I'm the kind of person I can find motivation out of anything. You know, I got my wife and kids that depend on me, and they get inspired by what I do. So like, I know this is gonna work, and I know that it's happening. So, in those unsecure moments, I'm secure about what's going on, about the environment. So it's a risk, and it's an intensity that I kind of like because it's bringing out the best out of me.
Right.
You
And
know?
everybody that works
And
for you.
everybody around me. So it's one of the hardest things to do. But if you got the guts and you got thick skin and you got the right partner, that's the other thing. You got the right partner next to you, that makes a big difference, because if you don't, that'll destroy you too. You know, they're gonna have to be patient. Remember one thing, I gotta say, shout out to my wife for that, for being as patient as she is.
Yep.
Because she's the kind of person that I get called 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no questioning on where you going and this and that. She knows I'm going to work. She knows I'm handling business. That kind of pressure motivates me. You know, it's a never-ending thing.
For sure.
And even now, sometimes I get, unfortunately, I came from the field just like you guys. So now I've put myself on a spotlight that is sometimes a little weird and a little lonesome. But I
Good-
guess that's
good
why
and
my
bad,
mom gave
yeah.
birth to a man, you know? So I just want to make it happen.
Boom.
We've got JNN Fire Protection. Quick question.
Hold on, read the first one.
It says-
Let's link up with the boys down. I'd love to link up with the boys down here and get together with the best of the best in the industry. Don't just skip over that,
Yeah,
dog.
I
He's
appreciate
juicing us
it.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that,
you,
man.
JNN. JNN is saying, a quick question, what's the best way to get leads, or what apps do you recommend? Blue Book, Plan Hub, etc.
For
For
estimating.
gaining leads. Getting
Well,
new customers.
gaining leads. Well, one of the things all those hubs are good. One of the things that I've noticed is answer back the emails, even if you think they're junk. Estimate. You know, it's like the lotto, baby. You're either in, you got to be in it to win it. You know, when I started off my previous company, I did that a lot. I exposed myself. Before you start paying for those hubs, they do actually kind of give you leads. You know, and it's good to know. Go to. How bad are you willing to expose yourself? Because I didn't care.
Right.
See, I couldn't knock on doors, but I went to job sites. I went to ABC associations. I went to, where's the stuff happening? I want to go where they don't know me. That's where I'm gonna go.
Right.
I'm just like that. I'm Cuban.
Show up.
I'm
Yeah, you
Cuban.
gotta
We
get
just
in
we just show
What's
up.
up, McKee Fire?
What's up, brother? I think touching
New
on
Jersey
that a little
showing
bit
love.
is also doing great work. You
Yeah.
know, once you build a little bit of clientele in the region that you're in, do a fucking killer job and
Yeah.
watch how much
Yeah.
business you'll gain on top of that.
And don't
you
try
know?
to get rich off of one job. That's a lot of things that I see contractors starting out. Everybody wants to make because you spend a lot. If me as a finance guy, or I'll probably give a finance guy a heart attack because I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it. You know, I didn't think about it. You know, I thought about it. I was like, you know how much money I've wasted? What does it take a little bit more to spend on invest on myself or the business? So how bad are you willing to expose yourself?
Right.
You know, get out there.
Put yourself out
put
there.
yourself out there. If you, but I can't talk to people. Well, you better start talking to people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so the Hillary Harper, she's touching on that as well. She says, do you feel advertisement plays a big part in getting more jobs, or do you think word of mouth works better for you?
Word of mouth has always
sure.
worked better for me. Advertising, what you see is me having fun.
Yeah.
Like reality, I don't think I've gotten maybe some calls, but really, I just do this to glorify and let everybody know what we're doing, how we're doing it, you know, and,
Right.
and it's fun doing it, you know.
Right.
Fire sprinkler guys making some content. Let's go.
The block is hot, you better
The
call.
fire sprinkler guy.
Fighting flames before they start.
The fire sprinkler guy.
Pipe by pipe, zone by zone.
The fire sprinkler guy.
Protecting you and your home.
The fire sprinkler guy. It's trench work.